And hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Voice of Business podcast on Business RadioX. This is the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce podcast that is every month here on our network, and we are proud to have three new business members of the Gwinnett Chamber joining us for this month's episode. Denise Dancie is the president of CPR Cell Phone Repair. Amber Lott is the owner of Paradigm Workhub. And Jeimy Arias is the CEO of Lead with Coach Jeimy. So we are looking forward to talking to all three of them, all brand new members of the Gwinnett Chamber. And we'll start with you, Denise. Denise Dancie, CPR Cell Phone Repair. You are a good person to know because we all break our cell phones. We drop them and things like that. So to get started, Denise, tell us all about your company and what you do.
Currently, we are cell phone repair store in Duluth, Georgia, newly opened. We had a soft opening on this past Friday. We repair phones, tablets, laptops, computers, drones, anything electronic. We basically repair them. We also sell devices and accessories. So anything you need for your mobile devices, we have them and we do repairs.
Remind me again how long you've been in business?
I've been in business for 2 years. This particular store we started this store, it opened on Friday. So we did a soft opening, and during that soft opening, we're basically focusing on batteries. Just to get people in the store. Everybody have a problem with their batteries after a certain amount of time. So we're doing promotions and on the batteries currently.
Well, congratulations on the new business. What inspired you to get into the business?
What really inspired me was my children. I have 2 adult children, and we as a family decided we wanted to do something together as a family. And it really is a legacy for me to find something that I can leave behind one day, not soon, but I wanted to find something that we can do together as a family.
Usually when people say I started the business because of families, because they wanted to get out of the house and get away from the kids, but yours are grown and adults and you went into business with them. It's always scary when you first get started, and it's always kind of cool when you get that first client. Do you remember your first client?
I'm just going to focus on my store I have in Gwinnett. The first client was a resident. Our store is located in an apartment complex. It's in a live, work, play community. So our first client was someone that had been waiting for months. And I was so surprised that he told me, my phone been broke for about 6 months. And this was a brand new building, so we had to wait till it was built out. But he did wait for us, and I appreciate it. So he was one of our first clients, and he came in and he had a screen repair.
Wow. I mentioned earlier, it's always kind of scary when you go into business for yourself. What advice would you want to give to that person out there, that entrepreneur that's thinking of going into business?
Well, the very first thing I would say is you have to be really, really strong, because during the midst of getting your business up and running, there's going to be plenty of times that you think you're going to fail because you are going to bump your head, and we bumped our head along the way. It took us 2 years to get to where we are today. This particular location, it was a brand new building. We were there first to sign a lease. So when we first decided we wanted to be there, it was just trees and dirt and grass and nothing else. So we had to have a vision. And when we signed that lease, we had to wait until it was built out in order for us to move forward. So in the meantime, in our effort to move forward and opening the business, we did bump our heads on a couple of things as far as getting it built out, find the right suppliers. Finding the right employees have always been a challenge as well, because it's such a, everybody can't do it. I don't repair phones myself. I can do the computers, but the telephone parts are so tiny. So you need somebody that really can get in and do the work. So it can be very challenging, but you really have to have the will to keep going when you run into those challenges.
That's very interesting, Denise, that the fact that you don't know how to repair phones yourself, but that's the business you're in, which was kind of cool, because you can really do any kind of business as long as you get the right people to surround you.
Correct. I do have an IT degree, so I am very technical, but So I can work on the, repairing the software side or hardware side of computers. But when it comes to the cell phones themselves, parts are too tiny for me, for my eyes. Maybe years ago I might have been able to do it. However, you cannot tell me, well, the better way to say it is I know all the parts and pieces that go to a telephone, so I can identify everything that goes there. I'm very familiar with that, but I can't just do it myself. I'm afraid I'll tear your phone up.
Yeah. Well, no, that's smart. So 2 years to kind of ramp up and get going, and now you're in business. A lot of work behind the scenes. What are you most proud of so far?
I probably would have to say I'm most proud of my children, because actually it was my vision, not theirs. But they were, Mom, whatever you want to do, we're going to stand with you. And they did, even during those times that it was challenging. And when we thought we were going to open our doors earlier this year and we couldn't move forward because of the virus. So we had, we was on a lot of delays. Not only with construction delays, we were just on delays, So I think I'm very proud of them for just not giving up on, it really was my dream. And my dream became their dream, because after we opened our doors, my son said something to me the other day, and, I was surprised. He said it, I would have thought maybe my daughter, but he said, Mom, I'm proud of you, and that meant a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you brought up the virus, the coronavirus, which we're all going through. It's got everything so topsy-turvy. How have you had to change some things? Obviously, it's delayed your opening, but what other things have you had to do to be able to do business during these unique times?
Well, first of all of our employees are required to wear masks, and we test them constantly every day. But the biggest thing we had to make a change of, we clean constantly. So we're always wiping the handles of the doors, our credit card machine, every accessory that we have in the store, we're constantly wiping it off. We spray in Lysol, and we're doing those type of things to make people, when they come in, make them feel comfortable. And we only are allowing, just a few people in at a time, and they have to be distant. The other thing, our store is a type of place that people come in and they want to talk to you about their problems. Like I said, we had another store previously. And that store, we had customers come in, and it was like friends at the bar. They want to tell you about their family while you fix their phone or try to figure out what was going on with their device. And so we have to limit that. We can't have that personal interaction as much as we did before. So I see that as a disadvantage, actually.
Yeah.
Because you got to know people, and the people that came into our business, they came in over and over again. Of course, we got new clients, but the ones that came in, our customers, they were repeat customers, whether they came in for a device issue or they just came in to say hi or to buy an accessory. So that's going to be a big change for us.
The company, again, is CPR Cell Phone Repair. Are there talk to our listeners about when is the appropriate time to bring your phone in, and when there's sometimes where it can't be fixed. I mean, people drop their phones into the toilet all the time. That can be fixed, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
When you drop your phone in water, probably 90% of the time it cannot be fixed.
Oh.
Most people think by putting in rice, which is
I didn't want to bring that up. Yeah.
It does not resolve the problem. If you turn your phone on or you attempt to turn it on, that's worse than just letting it stay off. We have equipment to try to dry it out, but it's still not guaranteed. And if we do repair your phone once it fall in the water, the toilet, or whatever, we let you know that even though we repaired it, it may go out later. So sometimes, it depends on the phone that you have, because some does say they waterproof, but I don't believe it. When you get your phone dumped in the water and we try to repair it, we tell you to do everything you can to get your device backed up and your information off, because it might last a day, it might last 2 weeks, it might last for 2 years. We cannot guarantee the water damaged phones.
And I do want to emphasize, you mentioned it at the beginning, it's not just phones, even though it's in the name of the company. You do tablets and game consoles. even drones.
Even drones.
Have you had any drones come through the door yet?
Not since we opened up this store, but we have fixed drones. Now, the issue we might run into drones right now, back to the virus, getting the parts is going to be a little bit delayed. So it might take a little bit longer than what we previously could turn around the device.
Well, you're here with us today because you recently joined the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. Talk about the decision and why you decided to go ahead and join the Chamber.
Well, we believe in networking and being a part of the community, and our focus is just being out there, a part of the community, and working with the school systems, which we in the past have worked with schools, having students coming in as interns and learning different things. And we also, are part of the community, do different events and things like that. So just being a part of Gwinnett, and it's where we've been for over 20 years. So
yeah, you guys have been residents for a long time.
For a long
doing
time.
Business here. And then, surprise, you're going to be on the Gwinnett Chamber radio show.
yes.
So that was a nice surprise.
Yes, excited about that.
The most important question, your website for people that want to find more information. And again, make sure we know your location.
Our location, we're located at 2200 Duluth Highway, and that's in Duluth, Georgia. And we're located in Sugarloaf Walk apartment complex. We're in building 200, is Suite 102. Our website is cellphonerepair.com/Duluth.Georgia, GA.
Great. And Denise, you said it's a family business.
Yes, it is.
Your children's names are?
Eric and Kiana. Last name is Dancey.
Eric and Kiana. All right, shout out to them.
Yes. And our phone number, which I didn't give you, is 678-691-8787.
All right, Denise Dancie, president of CPR Cell Phone Repair. Great to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
This is the Voice of Business podcast, the monthly show for the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. And our next guest is also another new member. Amber Lott is the owner of Paradigm Workhub. We have another company that does a show with us called Paradigm Security. So we're now glad to have Paradigm Workhub here in the studio.
Yes, there's a lot of paradigms shifting right now.
Oh, tell us about it. So, Amber, tell us all about your business and what you offer.
So I am an independent co-working facility, meaning I am not a franchise. It's not a WeWork or a Regis. I'm a one-stop shop. We offer remote workspace for people working from home. So right now is kind of a sweet spot for me. We are located in the Hamilton Mill area of Decula. We have meeting rooms, conference rooms, networking space. If you are a continuing education student and need to get out of your house now that the libraries are closed, we're a great option for you. We have small events under 60 people. We offer the space to rent out. So pretty much anyone that needs a place to get away from their spouse, their dog, their children, the distractions of their home life, and just concentrate on work and getting things done and being productive.
Nobody wants to get away from their dog.
You would be surprised how many people come in and say, my dog comes up and just looks at me, and then I have to walk them or play with them or feed them. So
I just want to be able to make a phone call without a dog barking in the background.
That too, absolutely. Or children screaming in the background or asking for things.
Your business is described as a modern design remote workspace. When I hear modern design, I'm thinking is it more like the open space thing? That's kind of the new concept these days.
So we do have an open space in the main area. It's concrete floors, high ceilings, brick. It's modern design, meaning it's not like a drop ceiling, old school looking space. It's a beautiful space. But we also have a quiet room, a couple of private offices, and places that people can go to be completely isolated.
So how long have you been in business, and what inspired you to get into the business?
We opened back in October. I say that very soft opening for a few months, because teaching the community about co-working in the suburbs has been an interesting challenge. So I would say December was when we started getting members and people coming on a regular basis and using the space. What got me into it, I worked in the corporate world for about 20-ish years in beverage distribution. So I was living out of my car, and coffee shops, restaurants, bars, Kinko's parking lots, wherever I could find a spot to work. And then I discovered the co-working spaces in town, and I love to pop in those every once in a while and just knock out what I needed to get done. And then this opportunity presented itself, and I made a life change.
You said, I can do this.
I can do this.
Well, it's always scary, like we talked with our first guest, when you start your new business. Do you remember the first client, the first person to actually sign an agreement? It's like, oh, God, I'm really in business now.
Yes. Yeah, I'd had some people come in for the free day pass, which we offer to first-time people or people passing through. They can just stop in and work for the day and check it out. And he came in and was like, oh, how many people do you have? And I was like, it just depends on the day, because it was just myself. Mm-hmm. So he was like, well, I need a space, and I'm just around the corner. So I convinced him to sign up, and then he came back the next day. He's like, oh, nobody here today too, huh?
He finally figured out maybe he was client number one.
Yes. So I told a little white lie, but now we're besties. So yeah, he was a UX designer, a UX designer from California that had moved here, and he currently actually didn't have a job when he started, but he was on a job search and needed to get away from his child and his wife to actually get that search productive, and he ended up finding his dream job.
Great. How are you now? What's it like today if I walk in? How many folks would we see there now?
Well, then COVID hit, so we were up to a good number of people, and then COVID hit. So now we have about 15 members that come in on a regular basis, and then people that just rent out conference room, training room, seminar space, and come and go throughout the day. So it's still not super busy, but it's a nice pace.
As a business owner, Amber, what advice would you give to somebody out there that's thinking about leaving the corporate world and maybe going into business for themselves?
I would say have a good sense of direction of where you're going, and probably get over any fears that you have about leaving a steady job with a paycheck.
Because you probably had a lot of naysayers along the way and people that were doubting Thomases.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't even know what a co-working space was. When you have to explain it to your friends and family, it makes it a little bit difficult. They're like, what's that?
It's okay.
Okay, that people are going to pay to leave their houses?
As I joke, my mom still doesn't know what I do. Has no idea what a podcast is, so I get you. But now that you've been in business, what are you most proud of as you look back?
Probably just the networking that I've been able to accomplish, and helping the people that come in to further their business and get them separated from their home and family life, and improving that overall. So
it's all about relationships, isn't it? No matter what business, cell phone service,
it really is.
Coaching, anything.
You know, I definitely heard Denise's story and thought that's my everyday, is the people come in not only to work productively, but to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah. I assume, just like Denise, you've had to make some changes there at the workspace as far as keeping people safe with the whole COVID-19 thing going on?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We offer gloves and masks to anyone who forgets theirs or doesn't want any that comes in. A lot of our people have their own cubicles or areas that they work out of, so they feel comfortable like setting up their desk for the day and knowing that and we have a 6-foot separation, every other desk, every other chair kind of situation. So we have adjusted that way.
So people can feel safe. If they need to get away from Fido, they can go and be safe there.
Yes.
Get their work done.
Yes. And you'd be surprised how much work you can get done when you're not distracted in a shorter period of time. So you might not be there all day, but you can knock out,
right,
8 hours of work in 4 or 5 hours.
You can't bring the dog with you to the job, can you?
You can't. Dogs are
'Cause
not
that would
allowed
kinda
in the
defeat the
building.
whole- that would defeat the whole purpose.
Right. You can bring your lunch, but not your dog.
There you go. Well, you're here again, of course, because you are now a new member of the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. So congratulations
Thank
for
you.
joining. Talk about the decision, why you decided to join.
Actually, with one of my networking groups, there was a member that suggested joining and what she has gotten out of the chamber. So she convinced me to join, and it's been awesome since.
And you kind of bring up a good point, Amber, that even if you join part of a business networking group, you don't have to be exclusive to that group. You can still join a chamber here or a chamber there and meet even more people.
Yes, and I feel like that's kind of the base of starting a new business, is getting involved in the other businesses in the community, even though you don't know exactly what you're doing yet 100%. They can look at you and what you're doing and give you advice.
Absolutely. Well, Amber Lott with Paradigm Workhub, give your location so people know exactly where you are.
Yes, it's Paradigm Workhub, spelled with a silent G.
Do people say paradigm?
I've heard paradigm. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I didn't think ahead when I chose the name, but it has purpose behind it.
You would figure that your prospective client would know what Paradigm is. So if
would-
they don't know that that's Paradigm, they're probably not a good prospect for you anyway.
We welcome all types.
Okay, you're right. I shouldn't have said that.
1862 Auburn Road, Suite 118. It's in the Veranda Shopping Center above City Lines Bar and Grill in Decula. So it's on the corner of Brazelton Highway and 124. Closest way to get to us is to get off at the Hamilton Mill exit.
You know, when I moved to Georgia many, many years ago, Decula was just a small little town, not like the big town it is today. I always thought it was Dacula. So, what do I know?
People still call it either way. So I'm in Dacula at Paradigm. Come on by.
Well, some of the locals, I say it's Decula.
Yeah.
So you hear it all different ways.
You really do.
And the website for people that want to look into your company?
Yep, www.paradigmworkhub.com.
Paradigm Workhub, Paradigm with a G.
With a G.
Amber Lott, the owner of Paradigm Workhub. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, our third guest today is Jeimy Arias with Lead with Coach Jeimy. Can I call you Coach Jeimy?
Oh, yes, sir, you can.
It's in the business title,
Certainly
right?
you can.
Tell us all about Lead with Coach Jeimy. What does your business do?
Okay, well, actually, I am empowered by John Maxwell, so probably a lot of you have heard of this amazing man. His teachings and his leadership has actually taken far beyond where people think that they can go. And he has written over 100 books. And definitely his teachings prove that any changes that you can do will definitely impact anybody's life. So I'm an independent coach, but I have my own business, and I do personal coaching. I do mastermind. So if you have a group of people that think alike and want to, improve as leaders or personal improvement, definitely you get them together and you get the best out of them in a mastermind. And a lot of people don't know what a mastermind is, so let's call it training, leadership training. And we get all these big brains with all the big ideas and tools and things, how they do things and what works for them. And what works for them, maybe something that you need, and it might help you. So if you are in the middle of chaos as a leader, as a business owner, even as a person itself, and you are like, okay, my life is a mess, it's chaos, I really don't know what my next right step is, definitely this is a tool that is going to help you. I also do the one-on-one coaching. I have sat down with different amount of people, and they come to the table with like a web in their heads, and they're like, I have a whole bunch of thoughts, I have a whole bunch of desires and things that I want to do, but I don't know what's the purpose in my life. I don't know what's the next thing that I have to do, the next right step. So we sit down, we actually we go through, like we get to the needle, like that core of the situation, and we find out, because the answer is inside of every person. You just don't know it's inside of you, but you need that coach, you need that person. A sport person and anybody that goes far, you ask them all the professionals and the famous sport people, they have a coach.
They had a coach or a mentor or
Exactly.
somebody that showed them the way.
Exactly. So what makes you think that you don't need one as a person?
What makes you so special?
You know, exactly. So why not have that person that is gonna walk you and is gonna help you? Is actually gonna help you get the how you call the solution to the problem, and it's right inside of you. We just don't see it because we're kind of like outside the frame. And
we're so focused on our business or whatever, and so it's not just business leadership; it's life leadership. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Exactly. And I also deal with small business owners, and they want to start their own business. And right now with COVID, so many people wants to do things. They have the desire to start their own business, but they don't know how. They need that push, and they're afraid and they're scared because, you know, uncertainty. But when they talk to somebody that has walked, you know, paved the way, and I have gone through that. I mean, me personally, I did it, and I used to work for corporations. I come from corporate America, and I said, I'm over here just, you know, building their business, and why not just step out in faith and do it for myself? So that's what Coach Jeimy does. She helps you get all the great things out of yourself, and she helps you to take the next right step in your life, in your business, in your leadership.
Finding a theme here. Everybody's leaving the corporate world and going into business for themselves. Let's empower ourselves, and you know, we you know, take our own path, and we control our destiny, as they say. So the John Maxwell team, how did you find them, or did they find you?
No, actually, the story is very unique. I actually lost my job. It was probably about over 2 years ago, and I always had this desire to help people. Like since I was a little kid, I said, I think I'm good at giving advice. Like I thought I was the big advisor when I was small, and I grew up feeling that way. But I felt that I could take it to bigger, you know, dimensions. And I lost my job. And as a matter of fact, actually, my mentor and my pastor, I went to him, and I was in the same situation. My brain was just a web, and I didn't know what the next right step was. And I told him, I want to become a coach. I think this is my calling. I feel it strongly, but I don't know what is the next right step. And he actually talked to me about John Maxwell, which I heard before in books and spiritual events and stuff like that, and he said, you should listen to him, you should, you know, take a look. And then I went to do something. I after I left the place, I said, why not John Maxwell? So I look up the corporate offices, and believe it or not, I was 3 minutes from the corporate offices from John Maxwell, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, my mind was like blown away. I said, oh my gosh.
The sign.
So, yes. So immediately, I didn't even think twice. I headed to the corporate offices, and I introduced myself to the people. I just went in there, and that's how the whole journey started. And I've been with them, and it's actually one of the best decisions, and it opened up the way just to have my own business as well.
Well, I can obviously tell by the sound of your voice, just like our first two guests, no regrets at all about going into business for yourself. So what advice would you give that young entrepreneur out there who's thinking about following your footsteps?
Definitely, I will say courage. I always say courage is when you do it when you're scared, and you do it anyway. So,
courage is when you do it when you're scared. Okay.
And you do it anyway. You jump. So don't let fear lead you. Just do it. If that's something, if you feel that's your calling, you have the talents. A lot of times you have to believe that you have it inside of you, and that there is somebody out there just waiting for you to put your name out there and help them, because there's so many people out there that has problems, that has issues, that don't know how to take the next right step, and you could have the solution. So don't hold it. You have to take it out there, put it out there, do it. So that's what I will say. Courage. Just do it, jump in, do it scared, but do it anyway.
You talk about courage, don't let fear stop you, but you were in the corporate world. What took you so long?
You know what? I was comfortable. Because that's what happens. Sometimes you get comfortable. And I'm not saying that whoever is in the corporate world is wrong. I mean, they like it. But for me, I think it was the next step that I had to take. I grew up, my father was a businessman, and he always told me, Jeimy, you need to have your own business. You need to have your own business. But I was like, no, Dad. Corporate world, they give me benefits, and I'm going to be able to retire, and all these things that a lot of people know. And my father passed away, and that was the legacy that he left me. I started thinking, and now that I'm all grown up and I see reality, I say, you know what? Why making money for somebody else and building their business when I actually can do it for myself? And I see all the benefits that you just have from having your own business. Why not? Do it anyway. I don't want to have no regrets.
Right. And now you're in business during a very unique time with the pandemic going on. How is that affecting your business? I would think a lot of the work you could do would be virtual.
Yes.
So how have you been able to do business during these unique times?
Yeah, virtually, definitely it's a big way because like I said, I can do masterminds virtually. So we can do, we can do Zoom calls and we can get everybody in Zoom and then we can discuss. Definitely we can do speaking. Actually, as a matter of fact, I have to speak in Colombia. And it's going to be all virtually. And they're going to gather a whole, group of business people.
Colombia.
In Colombia, the
South
country.
Carolina.
Yes.
South Carolina. South America, I meant.
South America. Yes. And they're going to gather business people.
Edit that out. I can't believe I said South Carolina. I meant South America.
Listen, I deal with that just like I deal with my name, okay? Colombia, Jeimy, and people struggles just to spell my name. So...
You've opened up a door right now. I just got to say that this show has been held. People in Colombia, South America, listen to this show because there's a newspaper article or magazine article right here on the wall talking about this couple that listened to our show in Colombia, and they moved here to the southeastern U.S. because they heard great stories about Gwinnett County.
Yes, and definitely Colombia is a big place. Go-getter. So I'm not saying because I'm from Colombia, but
Bogota,
yes, you
right?
can. I'm from Cali.
Okay.
Yes, I'm from Cali. So that's the great thing. That's the other benefit. I can do it in Spanish. I can do it in English. And I can add value just to people. You need value, then I'm here. I hope I can help.
I feel so inadequate now. I can just do it in English. Amanda, our producer, she knows a little Spanish. Un poquito, right? Yeah, just a little bit. So you're here as a member of the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. You have a lot of change in your life. You joined the John Maxwell team. Now you're a part of the Gwinnett Chamber. Talk about why you decided to join.
I think it was just the right step. It's a step in growth and definitely the exposure that you get. And, I mean, it's a no-brainer. They help you grow. They expose you. Why not? A lot of people think about the investment or, that's expensive. Trust me, since I think it's one of the best investments that I have done for my business. Not only that, but the networking, the great, amazing people that you get to talk to and just have that relationship and help others, be part of the community, be part of just bring your greatness. To other people and they feel with the greatness that they had because I feel that I'm getting more than what I'm giving. So why not? Just do it.
That's a great testimonial right there about the Gwinnett Chamber. So join the Gwinnett Chamber. What was it you said at the very beginning? I was about to say, but you said join the Gwinnett Chamber. Oh, it's a no-brainer. That should be their slogan and tagline. Join the Chamber. It's a no-brainer. So anyway, for those that would like to find out more about Lead with Coach Jeimy and about all the great offerings that you have, where can they get the information?
Okay, actually, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. And you can find me as Coach Jeimy, spelled as Jeimy. Let me make sure I make that clear. And you can find me there. I also have a website, which is johnmaxwellgroup.com/Jeimy Arias, ARIAS/contact. That takes you straight to the contact form. So you can do that. My phone number is 770-875-7669. So when you're ready, just go into the website and just send your contact, and I'll definitely reach out to you, and we can talk and see how I can make you or help you take your next right step.
Awesome. And you can talk in English or Spanish.
Como quieras, lo que quieras, yo lo digo.
Oh, I love that. Very nice. I have no idea what you said, but it sounded really, really good. It's Jeimy Arias with Lead with Coach Jeimy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Not a problem. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the invite.
No, muchas gracias.
De nada.
De nada. And also thank you to Denise Dancie with CPR Cell Phone Repair and Amber Lott with Paradigm Workhub for joining us here on The Voice of Business, the Gwinnett Chamber's monthly radio show and podcast. A reminder that you should follow us on social media here at Business Radio X. We're at Gwinnett Radio X on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And this show is also available not only on the Business Radio X website underneath the Gwinnett studio, but it's on all of the podcast platforms, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, It's all out there. So, again, a thank you to our guest. Thank you to Amanda for taking care of us and producing the show. I'm Mike, and we'll see you next time here on the Voice of Business podcast on Business Radio X.